Hi, Teacher Eduardo. Good afternoon, good morning, depending on the time you are. I'm Cedric, and today I'm going to be presenting to you my project, which is the QE Laboratory, my forecasting solution for this company. The objective, main of all, is to implement a data-driven forecasting tool, and right now I'm going to be using Power BI to achieve this goal. So I'm going to jump right into the business context and the challenge. Right now, the current state of the company, this is a family-run lab, which is pretty small. I think they have around 10 to 12 people employed, and it's family-run. They pretty much have limited analytics capabilities. They don't do actually any analytics at all. And their current forecasting tool right now, it's just intuition and experience based on previous months or years, for example. And the consequence of this, it's inefficient. They don't actually plan any revenue besides their current experience, and they don't have any clear or strategic direction based on data. So they just rely on pure perception. Now, but without any data insights, well, they struggle to capitalize anything on the market. That's why I'm gonna be doing this tool for them. Now, the target users are three main people in specific on the company. It's the administrator, which is the I think is the main user for this project. She pretty much oversees all operations, efficiency, and she makes these strategic decisions. The secretary, which she pretty much calls and schedules all the inventory on the company. She's also going to be using this app. And finally, the marketing representative, which she develops campaigns. Right now, she doesn't do that much of the work because she doesn't have any insights on when or what to do on campaigns, and this is going to help her. And the idea is to empower all these three persons on to use any data-driven decision making rather than just pure intuition. Now, the proposed solution is a forecasting tool based on Power BI. They currently use Microsoft as their main tool or intranet at the company, and the idea is to make an interactive dashboard, and it's going to leverage based on the historical sales data. It's going to have dynamic forecasting based on DAX. I'm also looking at the idea of using Python or R for forecasting solutions. Right now, I have discovered the whole winter's linear regression method, which is can be implemented in both Python and R, but also Power BI already has it by default on some of the features some of the visuals that they use. And with this, the idea is to have some visuals, some dimensions. For example, what's the monthly performance, the product specific demand, if they have a specific demographic or on several laboratory tests based on gender, based on age, um, and a specific service that they use the most, or what's the material consumption based on the different uh, lab tests that they consume at this lab. Now, this is one example. You can see on top here is one of the ones that I was able to do with the small data set that they have provided. I think this is something from January 2024 all the way to July 2025. And the idea on this is you can see the historical use of test. I don't have sales figures. That's something that I will be good to have, and you can see how the linear regression right now in the black part of this goes with the whole Winters algorithm. So my idea is to implement this, and now they can have a better view, but with sales figures, not with just test counts. I was able to perform the same one with Python. I was missing by the time that I was making this video, I was missing the part which relies on forecasts right now, but this is like the train data that they use for the algorithm and the test one, something that we were actually seeing during the course in Paris. And with that, the last part will be to predict the forecast that this graph is going to produce on how the tests are performing in the future. But it's something like this with more visuals on the other ones, but this is just a small draft for this presentation. Now, what value and is this scalable? Well, yes, it's actually going to perform it's going to have some actionable insights. For example, they will able to translate this complex data, which right now means nothing to them. They don't even use it, but now it's going to be clear, and they're going to suggest some things. It's going to be clear. It's going to be on a dashboard that everyone is going to have an idea, of a Power BI dashboard tools all be so visual, which the type of users that are going to use it are actually this kind of of people that's really visual on how they work. The idea is to pretty much exclude all the technical barrier. They're just going to be using it. They are not going to program on it. They just need to know how to read it. And the idea is if in the future, they decide to open like a second branch or something similar, the Power BI can be scalable into that other branch. So it does not only solves the immediate forecasting need, but it also, provides a future growth for the company. My implementation plan as of right now, and this is something that I was based on the work because I work on another company and I was able to, to prep a little bit the field here. And month one normally is all focused on data preparation, and I need to understand more on that program that they use, which is called PX Lab, and they have exports and to see if there's an automated way to extract those exports, maybe with an RPA, or at the beginning maybe manually, but it's not ideal. But to understand how to extract that information and also prepare it for the model development. And now on the model, I'm going to pretty much exclude everything that I don't need and just going to create the exact formulas that I need on the model just to create the dashboard. The next month, once I have start developing all this, I'm going to be doing dashboard design. And finally, this could be even month four, month five, depending on how many testing and the training goes along. But after several iterations, normally we release the dashboard, and if they like it, now we start training the people, which in this case are these three users that are going to be using it. The idea, of course, is to have at least an 85% forecasting accuracy within the 6 months in the future, and enable the proactive inventory and revenue planning of the company, which we currently they don't have at all. I know there are some risks. For example, we need to clean the data, and once the data is totally trustable for them, I'm going to be using it. That's on month one, and several feedback. Once again, the numbers needs to make sense to the users, and that's pretty much solvable by iteration. But the low user adoption, well, we might not have this case because it's just three people, but at least three people that needs to use it needs to understand it, and that's how they're going to be using it. So I'm going to be providing several trainings if needed for these users to use it. Finally, on the budget, it's not going to be too much. It's 1,000. I think it's $500 for the annual Power BI licensing. The break even falls at 3 months. Well, the rest of the total cost is because I need to be paid something symbolical in this case. It's a family business. The net present value, of course, it's elevated because of the low cost of the implementation and also the internal rate of return on this case. But these figures are more, on the document. And the idea is to have these questions solved, like which services to promote when, how to retain them, understand past performance, future forecast, and with this tool primarily. Well, yeah, thank you so much for your time, teacher. And if anything else is needed, please, you know how you know how to find me. You have my contact. And thank you so much. I'll see you.